This edition of the MG Trophy Championship is brought to you by Mangaletzi. A very warm welcome along to our second programme in the 2021 series of the MG Car Club Mangaletzi MG Trophy. Oulton Park, always a favourite venue for the competitors, and after round one at Brands Hatch, the championship led by James Dennison from the 170 class. Sam Kirkpatrick leads the 190s and he's second overall from Fred Burgess in the 190s. 160s led by James Morton. He's got a day off this weekend, so not with us, but Barry is catching up with some newcomers down in the paddock.
Keith, always great to see new drivers on the grid, so I believe this is going to be your first race ever.
That's correct, yes, absolutely ever. Other than a few track days down in Goodwood mainly and Brands Hatch, this is the first appearance.
Qualifying done. Now, I don't know why, but Oulton Park is a beautiful track, but every time the MG Trophy comes in, we always seem to get lashings of rain. In theory, it should dry out for when we go in the racing, but how was qualifying?
Very, very, very nerve-wracking, slow, I'd never seen the track before, so I just thought, let's just try and stay on the track and keep out the way and bring it home at the end of it, if you see what I mean. I didn't want to embarrass myself even further by leaving it in the gravel, so very slow, very, very sensible, really.
So what's your ultimate goal?
Again, just keep it on the tarmac, really. For today, the two sessions that we've got this afternoon, I'd just like to finish. I'm not expecting to overtake anyone, but if I can finish and obviously pick up that experience, that'll be good work, I think, overall.
So, Paul, I looked through the garages earlier and suddenly see a familiar face. See you back.
I am, yes, hoping to finish the season this time. Just missed the first one due to budget. We'll see what we can do.
2 years out makes you a little bit rusty maybe, and of course you could come to qualifying where it was actually thrashing it down, so how did that go?
Yeah, not too bad. I had to fix the car from Snetterton. I got one out last year. I broke the hub, so I literally in the last week I fixed the hub, and I love this circuit. It's a very technical circuit, and it's very rewarding if you get it right. But there's not a lot of room for error, shall I say, really, if you get it wrong. So I just took it easy out there, and then just made the ABS work its money, really, today, sort of thing. And it's gone all right, really.
So here we are, a second event of the season, and leading the championship with James Dennison. So a little bit of pressure on you today.
There is a bit of pressure, isn't there? I could have done without that, and I think it's the overall championship as well, which I didn't realise coming out of Brands. So yeah, Oulton Park, it's a very difficult circuit. It's a lot longer than Brands, so it's a different challenge, and the weather's obviously completely different as well. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Brands obviously was good for you. Race 2 seemed to be the slightly better one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, race 1 had a slight contact off the start, and then there was a bit of back and forth and a collision, and picked on the final corner, but race 2 kept the start, kept it first, and then drove off, and that was a bit easier. But yeah, nothing is easy in the trophy though.
Now, leading the championship doesn't put you on pole. That comes down to qualifying. How did that go?
Not great, actually. I didn't think it went too well. I mean, the fastest lap that I did was all right. It was good enough for third. I was a bit worried about the second quickest lap because I tripped through the chicane straight on, and then the safety car came out right at the wrong time, which is annoying. But then, yeah, the second quickest lap is enough for third in the second race. So I'll take that in these conditions. You know, anything can happen.
Like I said, Oulton Park quite different from Brands Hatch. Not only longer, but quite a technical one, and indeed challenging in these conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not really much runoff either, which is another thing to think about in the back of your mind. And you know, it's kind of like they say about Spa in Belgium, how you can be raining on one part of the track and the other part's fine. And there's parts here which are under trees, really wet, and there's parts like the first corner or the second corner that are much drier, so you have to pick your way around a lap very carefully sometimes.
Sam, event number 2, Oulton Park, one of the drivers' favourites, wet day, and how did qualifying go?
Yeah, it was good. Got a nice little gap at the start, so I didn't have to have any spray or any people in the way, and got a few good laps in, and yeah, nice little pole.
Now, championship points, still early days, but James is getting in the way a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got them fastest lap points, so I'll have to try and get some this weekend.
Now, traditionally, I don't know why, we all seem to get rain when we come to Oulton Park, but it seems to be drying out. Good 2 races today, a little bit of a gap in between, so hopefully that should play in your favour.
Well, I'd quite like a bit more rain, really. I'm quite enjoying the wet. Don't fancy the slicks in the moist.
How's the vehicle going? I mean, obviously it's achieving the results then, so have you done much to it?
Well, we took the engine away to get sorted out after the first round, and yeah, we found a few things wrong, and we've made the car much better. And we've got a good wet setup now as well.
One of the more experienced drivers on the grid. Good to see you here, Paul. How did qualifying go?
Trying to take it steady and make sure no mistakes. First race of the season for me. I didn't do brands, so I didn't want to throw it off doing something silly. So just get on the grid and then work from there.
You've been with the MG Trophy quite a few years now, on and off. What keeps coming back?
It's something I don't want to give up. So a case of, things get put in your way, and you think, okay, is it time to stop? And for some reason I keep hold of the fact that if I can still do it, why not do it?
190 class, busy class, it's evolved over the years as well. Have you found quite a few differences in drivers and experiences out there?
Yes, there's a big difference in the younger drivers coming through now, come through from all the stages, from karts into saloons, and whether they realise the extra experience they've got with all the different classes and different styles and how it works with MG. I'm presuming they do, because of the fact that they are where they are. So maybe it's an element of my upbringing with driving the cars as opposed to any surrounding motorsport. I can see the big difference.
Simon, not far away from race 1 now. I've noticed Tyler has got lots of mechanics around his car. What's been going on?
We had a thrust bearing break up towards the back end of the quali, and gearboxes come out, and then we weren't sure whether we got a diff bearing seal gone as well, so we've put gearbox and a clutch in it for him to get him out for race 1.
All these mechanical changes, of course, we can't really test much.
No, we can't test much by going up, and so fingers crossed and everything will work as it should do.
Great performance in qualifying from Tyler Ballard. He has a double pole in the 170 class. Double outright pole is with the class 190, Sam Kirkpatrick. There he is in car number 3. Fred Burgess is next up in the black and orange number 16. Class C, the 160s, the returning Paul Croker, who we heard from, is on pole from Guy Tolley. Then John Donnelly, John the winner last year. Here, there's Doug Cole in the 99. Try and give you a little bit more context as the race gets underway here at Oulton Park. But the weather looking, as you can see, a little bit damp in places, but drier than it has been as the cars come into line, with Sam Kirkpatrick pole, Fred Burgess alongside row 2, Class B 170, Tyler Ballard. James Cole's back with us as well this weekend, which is great to see. He's in the 88 car, so another returning driver, the 30-year-old from Aylesbury. And here is John Donnelly, third in class. Andy Heitman, incidentally, who was in Class C, has moved up to Class B this weekend. Lights go out and we are Mangaletzi MG Trophy racing here at Oulton Park. James Dennison looks down the inside line, the championship leader and Class B runner looking to try and make a few passes, but a great start from Sam Kirkpatrick in car with Guy Tolley, and contact, and around goes Andy Heitman. Well, Andy, as I said, moved up into Class B, right in the thick of the action. Andy gets a little bit of contact, turns around, thankfully I think okay, and not great for him to be turned around, but that could have been a lot worse. I have seen worse here at Oulton Park going into Old Hall for the first time, but they all sort themselves out, going along Lakeside up towards Shell Oils for the first time, and Sam Kirkpatrick makes another clean getaway, as he did at Brands Hatch. Tyler Ballard busy chasing Doug Cole. James Dennison, meanwhile, looking to put more points in his campaign. I love the fact that he said that he almost said he didn't want to be leading the championship after round 1, but what a great place for the driver to be in, 2 points clear of Sam Kirkpatrick. In car with Josh Bacon all over the back of James Dennison, and Josh a double winner here in 2019 in Class C. We've got a lot of drivers that have won in classes here. Doug Cole looks at the inside line of Fergus Campbell, 190 passing 170. The 170s with the yellow sun strips. There will be a bigger points haul, of course, for the more drivers that you're competing against. The orange sun strips across the screen are the faster class, the more powerful 190s, and then the white sun strips you'll see for Class C. Josh Bacon again in the mix there with Patrick Booth. So Patrick looks up the inside line, and a big sort out happening here for positions. Adam Jackson in white at the head of this group. Patrick Booth ahead of Josh Bacon. So we go in car with Josh again. Superb shot, great sound from these cars as well. MSA Academy livery inside that car. So through Lodge Corner, Deer Leap next up. James Cole having a look here at John Booth, and he's on the outside line, which will hold as they come down across the line into Old Hall Corner. A little bit of a lock up there, and that is Adam Jackson, the Leeds man, gets a lock up, and he's off. He's got flames under the car, hopefully will be extinguished and he will be okay. Car comes to a halt. Here's a replay. So Adam turns in, you can see the smoke. That is a scary position for a driver to be in. Fights the car, fights the lock on it. Clearly big problems for Adam Jackson in the 79 car, and disappointing to see him out of the race. Josh Bromley's got issues as well, gesticulating to his mechanics. Well, it's all kicked off, hasn't it, at the start of this race? Former race winner here at Oulton Park, Robin Walker, looking to make some ground as well, challenging Paul Savage. Great to see Paul back. Robin Walker, you might remember winning in August 2019. And Robin makes the move past Paul Savage. Great to have Paul back, and interesting comments from Paul about the younger drivers coming in. Josh Bromley, hopefully sorted and back out on track. Joseph Delgado in blue, up ahead of John Booth, then Robin Walker. Paul Savage is next up in the queue. So negotiating the chicane here, and they'll head up towards Druids. There's a puff of smoke from somebody in front. In car with Joseph Delgado. John Booth putting him under pressure. Are we going to see a stricken car? Yes, it's James Dennison. James Dennison, the championship leader. Well, he said he didn't like being in the lead of the championship, he didn't like the pressure, and that's going to take that pressure off. I'm sure he'd rather have the car in one bit, so it looks like an engine problem for him, and indeed Adam Jackson in the early stages of the race. Dennison and Jackson both out of the race, and now Doug Cole will join them on the sidelines as well. So Doug Cole in the 99 car was being caught very, very quickly there. It is all happening. We're in car with Tyler Ballard. Outside line chasing the class leader, Fergus Campbell, leading class here. Quick look at the 160s. The 35 car is Guy Tolley. Guy chasing John Donnelly, who's the other white Sunstrip car that we saw, and Paul Savage in the mix as well. Not too far behind this battle. Robin Walker busy chasing John Booth, who is applying a fair amount of pressure here in the black car. Let's see whether is John going to make a move here. It looks like Robin Walker's the man who could be on the move as they head up towards the Shell Oils hairpin once again. And a lock up, as I think John Booth in the 50 car went for the move, locks up to avoid contact, it has to be said, and ends up being. Let's watch it from the back of Joseph Delgado's car. Watch the black car. John Booth makes the move, realises it's not on, jams on the anchors, and as a result the back end spins around. I've got to take my hat off to John, because a lesser driver would have gone right into the back of Joseph Delgado. He has retired from the race, but the car is in one piece, and so too is Joseph Delgado's car. The man from Tadley, the 19-year-old, one of many teenagers in this race, now up ahead of Robin Walker. So Joseph Delgado from Robin Walker, inter-class battle going on between the two of them as they climb up Clay Hill towards Druids. This is the 170 class battle. It's also for third position, so an overall podium in the offing here for a 170 class car. Tyler Ballard, the chaser, and look how much pressure he's putting Fergus Campbell under. Fergus goes over towards the pit wall. Actually, no, he doesn't. It looked closer in the onboard, but he's taking the racing line as they go down into Old Hall. Tyler Ballard putting him under pressure. Tyler has won in the 160s and the 170s here at Oulton Park, so he's very well used to that feeling standing on top of the podium for class. I think incidentally we might get a first-time overall winner here. This is the battle for the 160s. John Donnelly still up ahead of Guy Tolley. This is going to serve both of these drivers well in the championship, with James Morton not here. Meanwhile, Sam Kirkpatrick, look at the lead that Sam has built up. We watched from Fred Burgess. Fred's still chasing hard. Fred had both the fastest laps at Brands Hatch, but at the moment Sam Kirkpatrick has the fastest lap here. This is the view briefly from Fred Burgess. Now back with Joseph Dalgano, and Robin Walker still trying to get in front of him. Now if Robin gets through, it will mean that some of the other 170 class cars could maybe close in. You can still see John Booth's car in the gravel there at Shell Oils, and now a great run by Robin Walker. Very good exit from Shell Oils. Inside line here, converts to the outside on the entrance into the Britain's chicane, which they're through now. This is such a great technical circuit and a really good learning place for the youngsters. Safety car, well, safety car is out. I think we have, it's James Dennison's car which is going to receive the attention, and also very possibly John Booth's car. Now if it seemed like a while before the safety car came out, the organisers will on this long lap try and allow the rescue crews and marshals to get things done before they have to put the safety car out. And there is the recovered car of erstwhile championship leader James Dennison. That smoke indicating it was an engine problem. We saw a similar thing going to Adam Jackson in the very early stages of the race. Tyler Ballard gets a breather and he's going to be hounding Fergus Campbell. But now as we look at the cars coming through, that's Keith Henley behind the safety car, and then a gap, then Sam Kirkpatrick, who's holding back so that he can get a run away from Fred Burgess. Sam Kirkpatrick has had pretty much a 2-second lead wiped out by the safety car. Frustrating for him, great for the spectators, great for the viewers as well, but it can be, actually, you know, race start is a great thing to watch. Now look at Keith Henley here, pulls over, allows the drivers through. Great driving from Keith Henley, well done mate, superb stuff. And under pressure is Sam Kirkpatrick, third place man in 31 is Fergus Campbell, who got the better of the restart there over Tyler Ballard. So it's Ballard in P2 at the moment in the 170s. Great restart by Fergus Campbell. Patrick Booth in the mix as well, trying to get up towards an overall podium, but in a class podium position is Patrick Booth at the moment. But Sam Kirkpatrick flies away. Terrific restart from the youngster in the Wheatsheaf garage car. Fred Burgess giving chase. It gives a renewed impetus, doesn't it? Because if there's a 2-second gap that then disappears, it really can fire up the chaser, and Fred will know that he has race pace to match Sam Kirkpatrick on a decent lap. I'm guessing he might not have heard what Sam said about finding the problems with the engine, but it looks like Fred is really putting the pressure on. Comes out, has a little look as they come now down into the chicane once again. Still in third place, leading the 170s is Fergus Campbell. Looks like he's managed to get away a little bit from Tyler Ballard in second place. Third at the moment in class is Josh Bacon from Joseph Delgado. Those two are having an interesting battle, with Robin Walker in the mix as well. And there is Fred Burgess, just maybe losing out a little bit now. The green flag's greeting them around the circuit as they head up towards Lodge Corner once again. So it is a fight for the lead. Now I was talking about Robin Walker being in the mix with the podium battlers in the 170 class. And it's Josh Bacon who is there at the moment, running in third place in class. Well, onto the last lap goes the race leader, so I think we may well come back to this battle, and indeed our cameramen having a look back for it. Here is Josh Bacon, and coming through is Robin Walker. This could well open up the battle in the 170s, because Josh Baker will be closed on by Joseph Dalgarno. Paul Savage in behind as well. So we've got the two yellow stickered class cars together. Now obviously it's absolutely great for Robin Walker to get past, but it means that Josh Bacon is under pressure from this man, Joseph Dalgarno. He gets a clear run now at a potential podium in the 170s. Josh Bacon's back through though. Bacon sees a gap, goes through on the inside line. That was a great pass, and Joseph Dalgarno goes through as well. Locks up a little bit, runs wide and high onto the banking. Has he got the momentum to hold on? No, he hasn't. Robin Walker goes back through. Superb Interclass racing, and Joseph Dalgarno trying to close down on Josh Bacon. It wasn't to be there. Well, Robin Walker's position, of course, has maybe settled that podium position in the 170s. It's great racing, and I think Joseph Dalgarno will be a little bit frustrated. You can see Paul Savage in the mix as well, trying to get embroiled with them too. But that was great stuff by Josh Bacon, getting back at that opportune moment on that sweeping left-hander as they headed up towards Shell Oils. You don't see that move done very often. That was a great move. Maybe pass of the day, we might have missed some, but that's super move by him. Back with the leaders though, coming into Lodge Corner for the last time. Sam Kirkpatrick looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce, chased by there number 16 Fred Burgess, who will be again in second place, scoring very, very consistent points. There's the checker. Kirkpatrick wins, Fred Burgess second. And going through back into fifth, but Robin Walker's back into fifth place. Robin Walker got the better of them once again. Class C headed by the 76 car of John Donnelly from Guy Tolley. That's Josh Bromley just ahead of them. So it's going to be a Class C win for John Donnelly. A first win of the season for John. So he goes through just ahead of Guy Tolley, who takes his second position on the bounce. But there's our overall winner. Young Sam Kirkpatrick takes the win. It was Fred Burgess in second place, Fergus Campbell in third and winning Class B. Fourth was Patrick Booth, then Robin Walker. Josh Bacon next up in Class B from Joseph Dalgarno. Paul Savage 8th from Tyler Ballard, who had a time penalty for a full start. Jack Chapman 10th from James Cole, and Josh Bromley. John Donnelly winning Class C from Guy Tolley and Paul Croker. Andy Heitman recovered for 16th from Keith Henley and John Booth.
So with or without the safety car, you made that look pretty easy, but was it?
Not really, no. There was a bit of oil down on the first corner, which was quite hard to navigate on the slicks, and then there was a bit further around as well where it was a bit of a mess, so it was quite hard just to get around the track. But yeah, the restart as well was quite hard as well, because there was a back marker got mixed in with us, so it wasn't all plain sailing.
Well, that was an interesting race. What was it like from your point of view?
Yeah, it was very interesting. There was a bit of a panic before the race. Everyone was debating whether to go slicks or wets, and no one could quite make their mind up. And last minute we decided to go slicks, which I was a bit worried about, sat in Park Ferme, but then when we actually came up the track I was like, why the hell were we debating it? It was that dry. But the mistake we made, we were still on full wet shocks and full wet suspension settings, so the car was quite soft. But yeah, second place.
Fergus, great to see you back on the podium now. A very interesting race there. Safety car came out, and then really the action was for that third position.
Absolutely, Barry. It was a good, clean start. I managed to get ahead of Tyler and mix it with the 190s, and then all sorts of people started breaking down and going off. And as you say, we then had the safety car, and it was a little bit tricky because one of the 160s was the first car behind the safety car, and the 190s were dropping back because they wanted to get a run at him, so I had to drop back a bit. But Tyler was incredibly strong in certain parts of the circuit, and you know, it's just, you know, I'm just old and slow, so I'm going to go and get some driving tips from him for the second one.
So John, it was all happening in front of you as things were clearing the path, and obviously then the class win, so that worked out well for you.
Yep, luck went back my way this time round, so I'm really grateful for that. Managed to keep it solid the whole way through, race through, and quite chuffed with the win, obviously.
Guy was keeping the pressure on though as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but managed to keep him where I needed him. I was keeping an eye on the gap, I was quite happy again.
Welcome back to Oulton Park, our second race meeting of the 2021 season. The repairs and fettling are going on ready for race 2, but before the cars go on track, we thought it would be a great idea to nip down into the paddock and have a word with our round sponsor.
So here I'm now with Simon Taylor, dealer principal from Mangaletzi. Now Simon, thank you very much for firstly being title sponsor for this programme. How did you first become involved with the MG Trophy?
It's something that we've followed, and obviously we've had the MG dealership now for 2 years. It was entirely appropriate. Oulton Park, it's in our territory. It's something we wanted to support and pleased to support. It's fantastic to get out in the public eye again. We've been closed 3 times over lockdown, the showroom's been closed. We've had to adapt the business in many ways. I don't think the motor trade will always be the same. I think the way we behave with sales online is something that's going to grow more and more.
Now I know Mangaletzi, it's a well-known regional name and becoming national, but for any new viewers that we've got, just tell us a little bit more about the business.
Well, Mangaletzi's been in business over 55 years. We initially started with Alfa Romeo. We still have Alfa Romeo, the longest established Alfa Romeo dealership in the country. We've since taken Fiat, Abarth, Jeep, and MG. We're excited to have as a new member of the family.
I was going to say, it's quite an evolution going over the next few years with the motor industry. You've supplied some superb vehicles, including the course car and safety car as well there. Now, a couple of those are electric, so are people more heading for electric now, or, I mean, what's the general consensus?
I think that people are certainly looking at electrification as a solution. More and more inquiries on full electrification, people are understanding it. Range anxiety is becoming less of an issue. They're understanding that most people commute no more than 24 miles a day. These vehicles have got ranges from 170 to 210 miles.
Obviously, local people could call in and see the range that you've got and be shown around, but what about if people want to sort of know a little bit more without travelling from around? How would they get in touch?
Just visit our website, mangaletzi.com. All our range is there, our after sales and parts. Everything can be bought online. We can arrange delivery throughout the UK. We can do click and collect, or you can actually do an end-to-end, valuing your part exchange, choosing which finance plan is best way for you to purchase it, all online.
So what a mixed bag of action that was. I mean, how was it from the driving seat?
Pretty stressful from the start, really. Quali was wet, and no one was sure whether it was going to dry up for the race or not, so everyone was staring to the skies and just praying either for wet or dry. Luckily it was dry, and it was dry the whole way around, so there was damp patches off to the side, and my grid box was slightly damp, so yeah. And then getting into the race, it was not too bad. I dropped a couple positions on the first lap, but just managed to stick it on the black stuff when people were dropping oil, gained a couple from that. And then the safety car brought me Robin Walker and Josh Bacon all in close together, so yeah, I had a good battle with them until the checker flag.
I was worried about the safety car because, I mean, obviously with all the clearing up going on, I thought it might be finishing under a safety car with the checkered flag, so at least you got a couple of laps in, which made all that difference, really.
Yep, well, I knew from the time it had been out it was going to be a 1 or 2 lap sprint to the end, so yeah, I knew that if I wanted to make a move, I had to do it quick, and gave it my all, but it wasn't quite enough to get past Josh.
Now, as we've been standing here, it's just started raining again, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. We don't know what we're doing this afternoon, really, do we?
No, it's not meant to rain, but I mean, the forecast is never right, and whatever tyre you choose is always the wrong one, really. So, but for me, fingers crossed it stays dry, and there have to be a fair bit of wet for it to go onto wet tyres, I think.
Josh, an exciting race there. Now, bit of a heart-stopping moment there in corner 1 when the other vehicle went off to start off with, and then obviously you got through that unscathed and went through for that podium position.
Yeah, it was a bit scary, sort of cloud of smoke, a bit of fire, and then a bit of sideways moment as well for me. But I managed to get through it and carry on to the end of the race.
Now, even though we had safety car for a few laps, the pressure was still on for you, wasn't it, really? Because you had quite a group behind you.
Yeah, before the safety car, it was about 4 seconds either side, so I was quite comfortable. And then when the safety car came out, it was a bit risky for the group behind.
So the restart went well, like I say, and thankfully 2 laps left. That was just enough to sort of keep that pace going.
Yeah, definitely. I had a 190 behind me. It was on wet tyres, so it was sort of similar pace to us. but managed to fend him off and keep it there.
So you've had an exciting start to the season, a few issues at Brands Hatch, and we come to Oulton Park, and it's probably one of the most heart-stopping moments ever into corner one. What actually happened?
Yeah, well, the car felt great. It was, I think we've gone on the right tyre choice, and just bringing it in first lap and come down, everything felt good going into the first corner, and then halfway through, just lost the back end. I actually felt like, because I was on the slicks, I'd just gone on the wet, but then once I caught it, it went back the other way, and then I knew there was something not right. I knew there was just a lot of smoke, and then I didn't realise it had been on fire until the marshal then came over to me with a fire extinguisher wanting to spray the car, and I was like, no!
Mid-slide, I thought it was all tyre smoke, but it was a massive... It might have been that scene in Days of Thunder with all the other cars coming up behind you. And then I realised some flames, like you say, when you stopped. So how terminal is it? Are you out for race 2?
Well, we're hopeful. Yeah, we don't know yet. So fingers crossed we might be out, but we might have to play it safe because it's an expensive engine if it's not right.
Well, the good news is that we can see the white 79 car of Adam Jackson making it onto the grid, so really great to see them back out there. And thanks for telling us the story, Adam, because a lot of drivers, when they get that sort of frustrating thing happening, sometimes rightly just want to be left alone to get on with it. But these guys, what a great paddock. They're always willing to talk to our interviewers and talk to us about their problems and help get the story across to you. The lights are out for race 2 here at Oulton Park, and again a super start from pole position from Sam Kirkpatrick, but what a cracker by Fergus Campbell, and it's Fergus Campbell, the 170, that leads them through into Old Hall for the first time. That was the start of the season for me so far in any of the classes that I've commentated on. Fred Burgess goes through though into the lead, the 190s power their way past, and now we're going to see Adam Jackson getting involved in the mix as well. Doug Cole had issues in race number 1. He's back on track. Loads of work being done in the paddock to get these cars on track to entertain us. And it's Fred Burgess, the race leader. Burgess leads. Sam Kirkpatrick down in P2 has got work to do as they go up to Shell Oils for the first time. Fergus Campbell is third. So Fergus looking to grab another win. It's a very busy queue behind them. So Adam Jackson busy chasing as well. Doug Cole makes a very neat move there. Doug fired up. There he is in front of Joe Delgado. Through the Britain's chicane they go. Doug's next target, I was going to say next target is Adam Jackson, but next target but one as they come down into Knickerbrook. So the Hislop chicane, then Knickerbrook. You can see in the mix there 33 Patrick Booth. James Cole in green in the mix as well. Up ahead of him, Joseph Delgado, so complete mix-up and a change around from race number 1. It's much drier out there, and in car with Patrick Booth past James Cole. Great shot, not only listening to the car but seeing the climb that these cars have to negotiate here at Oulton Park. That was a really good perspective and a great move by Patrick Booth, going through the 190, passing the 170. Passing in the same class is being attempted here as Kirkpatrick looks around the outside line. I thought he was going to chop back for the cutback there. Instead runs a little bit wide. And it's Fred Burgess that holds on to the lead. Meanwhile, back with Doug Cole. Doug having a look at the 170, so 190 on the inside. Makes the move. Doug had great momentum there. What a start, though, from Fergus Campbell. Nobody can take that away from him. Fergus now down into third place. Patrick Booth. Then Joe Delgado in car again with James Cole, looking to come down through Cascades. This is such a great track. It's sometimes a frustrating one to spectate at because you can't see too much of it. You can see a fair amount from some vantage points, but I advise you to treat it like Brands Hatch GP and spend the day having a walk around the track. Booth through on the inside line there of Tyler Ballard. So in car with Tyler. The Shell Oils banked corner. This is the full park circuit, 2.6 miles. As Fred Burgess now, you can see great onboards looking ahead and looking back, and he's got Sam Kirkpatrick, the championship leader, all over him, side by side. Kirkpatrick in black and blue as they come down towards us, but having the line here down into the chicane is Fred Burgess, but giving room here to Sam Kirkpatrick, who's going to try and go through. Burgess on the inside for the exit. He's going to maintain the lead. Kirkpatrick has a look up the inside line, not quite enough momentum there, but very definitely notice of intent. Adam Jackson in third, enjoying the squabble and maybe enjoying the chance to get onto the back of them. Classic stuff from the MG Trophy Championship. Fred Burgess still very much learning his way in motor racing, and that lovely clear view, that's a great view for a driver to have here at Oulton Park when you're in the lead. An even better view is out the rear view mirror if you've got a gap. And Fred's got a little bit of a gap at the moment because Adam Jackson is starting. Great to see Adam on the grid, and wonderful that they managed to get the car running again. Didn't realise, as you heard, that the car had a fire under the bonnet, so the marshals were there ready to help out, but didn't cause any damage with the extinguisher. It's good, as we saw James Cole getting stuck in. So Patrick Booth up ahead of Fergus Campbell. Still Fred Burgess in lead position. Adam Jackson trying to close in. He'll be keen to get another decent result here. In car with Adam, again coming into Shell Oil's corner. Just listening to the car, I love the engine sound of these cars. He's in P3 at the moment. Then it's Doug Cole having a much better run in this one, trying to close up on Adam. So two of the drivers that had issues in race number one vying for a podium spot here in our fourth race of the season, and it is still Burgess. But now look at Sam Kirkpatrick having another go, trying what he did on the last lap. He wasn't quite as far alongside then, but he's still nibbling away. Looks at the inside on the Hislop chicane, now coming through Knickerbrook, all over the back of the 16 car, piling the pressure here on Fred Burgess, who is leading admirably at the moment. Fred may well do, as we're looking in the rearview mirror and looking back at the number 3 car, piling the pressure on. So is Burgess going to go away with the fastest lap here? It was Sam Kirkpatrick fastest lap in race number 1, Tyler Ballard fastest lap for the 170s, and Paul Croker in the 160s. Croker will be looking for a class win in this race, as continuing to lead here at Oulton Park is Fred Burgess. Welcome back, and again getting embroiled in with the 170s is Robin Walker, having a nibble there at Joseph Delgado. Joseph running third place in the 170 class, so this will open up, I think, for James Cole, who's in behind, to try and challenge for a podium position. So here comes Fergus Campbell leading in the fluorescent colour, red colour car going through. Then it's Tyler Ballard, third in class in the yellow 170s is Joseph Delgado, Robin Walker ahead of him. Then it is James Cole, currently fourth in class, just to give you a little bit of perspective as to where they are. So great to see James in his first meeting of the season vying for a podium, and all over the back now of Joe Delgado. Joe could have done with the 190 class car behind him, as he did have in race number 1, to sort of take the pressure off. Equally, he'd be wanting to try and chip away at the cars that are in front of him, i.e. Fergus Campbell and Tyler Ballard, 1 and 2 in the 170 class at the moment. Fergus Campbell's got a good lead over Tyler Ballard at the moment. Robin Walker getting clear. Paul Savage looking to try and close up as well. In car with Joseph Delgado once again. A very good look back. Some of the onboards are great looking forward, but also it's nice to get the rear facing camera when you get a driver who is close. And having a good go, here's Paul Savage using the power of the 190, again trying the outside line. Is he going to be able to get past? A little bit of contact, little knock on the back end. Well, gallant effort by Paul Savage, couldn't quite do it. Maybe picked up a bit of damage as well on the car, as we go back to the race leaders. Fred Burgess leads, Sam Kirkpatrick relentlessly chasing. Where is he going to find an advantage? Don't know whether to look at the rear-facing camera. He's having a go here down the inside line. There he is, goes through, down Cascades, right on the inside line. And Sam Kirkpatrick has just enough space, and Sam Kirkpatrick timed it superbly. Fred Burgess, being the clean driver he is, coming up on, that's Keith Henley, who again moves over to the outside line. Fair play to Keith. Brand new driver to motor racing, Keith Henley. That's why you have your ARDS test. He's obviously learned from that, sees the faster drivers coming through, and a good clean overtake by Sam Kirkpatrick, and clean racing from Fred Burgess as well. You have to be like that to have the the respect for each other to get through to the end of the day, as we watch John Donnelly still ahead of Guy Tolley. This pairing were first and second in the first race of the day, but Paul Croker is the class leader at the moment in the 160 class. Now let's see if Fred Burgess has anything in reserve. He wasn't happy with the setup, as you heard in race number 1, and working hard to try and close down again on Sam Kirkpatrick. Let's see whether Fred can do it. Soaked up a lot of pressure for a long time, did Fred Burgess, and that is all experience that he will log. He will understand that he is capable of fighting off quick drivers like Sam Kirkpatrick, and he'll take that on to the next round. Just saw Paul Croker going through shot there as well, the leader of the 160 class. So hats off to Paul, doing a super job, as Tyler Ballard is having a look. This is for the lead, and we're going to see another lead change here. This is for the 170 class. You can see that Robin Walker has caught them, and Tyler Ballard looks around the outside line here, runs a little bit wide. It's the battle for the 170 lead in front of us, and Fergus Campbell hasn't got track position to maintain the lead. He might want to hang it out around the outside line. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. He's down to P2, so Tyler Ballard now the class leader, and let's see if Fergus Campbell can react to that. Robin Walker's going to have a look up the inside line as they go again through that sweeping left-hander that leads them up into the hairpin at Shell Oils. Robin Walker comes off the gas and lets these two fight it out. One of the things that Robin won't want to do, or indeed do at all, is interfere with a class battle for the lead. I know you can say he probably did it with the podium positions earlier on. He'll try and pick these guys off, but these two were battling at that time, and he's respecting that. Let's see whether the power of the 190 can get in amongst them now. They're not battling now. There's a little bit of space developing between class leader Tyler Ballard and second place man Fergus Campbell. Gap back to James Cole, who I think I omitted to tell you earlier on had got past Joseph Dalgano. You probably worked that out for yourselves. James was 6th in class in race number 1, and a podium in the offing here. Now Robin Walker powers his way up Clay Hill and looking on the inside line before they go to the double apex corner at Druids. That was brave stuff from Robin Walker, having a look. Quite worked for him under the Paul Warwick Bridge. Is Walker again, might have enough power to get into position, and then on the brakes, and Fergus Campbell sees clear track disappear between himself and Tyler Ballard, who is now the class leader. Tyler with this will be his first class win of the year, Tyler Ballard. A flash of lights. That's Andy Heitman that they're closing down on. Great to see Andy up in class B. It looks like the same car from round 1 at Brands Hatch. Vortec, of course, were our very valued partners at Brands Hatch. It is a different car, and still with the new driver insignia on the back, and I hope that Andy Heitman's enjoying his racing. Fred Burgess certainly is at the moment. Mind you, he'd be enjoying it more if he was in the lead. Still piling the pressure on Sam Kirkpatrick. So who's going to win our second Mangaletsi MG Trophy Championship race here at Oulton Park? Fred Burgess still continues to pile the pressure on, but Sam Kirkpatrick, fastest lap again for Kirkpatrick, a 156.392 down through Dearly. Burgess still chasing hard along on the start finish straight. They will go again, just 2.6 miles to go. Adam Jackson still running in third, Doug Cole is in fourth. Both of the retirees from race 1 in to score some good points here, and here's Robin Walker about to try and pass Tyler Ballard. This will leave clear track again between Fergus Campbell and Tyler Ballard. Robin's going to make the move. Still side by side. Robin's got the inside line. Oh no, he hasn't. Tyler Ballard hangs on to it. So the College Motors car, immaculately prepared machine. There is so much greatly prepared machinery in this championship. Walker's got the inside line now, should make the pass as they come up to Lodge Corner. Fergus Campbell will go on to his last lap as well, so he's got 2.6 miles to close back down on Tyler Ballard. Through Dearly they go. Robin Walker, that's 6th position now for Robin, so it's Kirkpatrick leading from Burgess, Adam Jackson 3rd, Doug Cole 4th, Patrick Booth in 5th place, then Robin Walker, then this pair battling it out for the lead in Class B. Tyler Ballard up front at the moment, looking for his first win of the season, so he's going to be a third different winner if he hangs on to it in class. Meanwhile, around about halfway through their last lap, Sam Kirkpatrick up ahead of Fred Burgess. This is not over at all yet for Sam Kirkpatrick. Is he going to make it 4 wins on the bounce? I think, even with the slightly lower numbers in the 190 class, could take the championship lead here. We'll have to do the maths before the end of the programme. But Fred Burgess again has been mightily fast and mightily consistent, and 4 second places, if that's how it finishes, a very good start to the season. The two battlers in the 170 class being happened upon by the race leader. Sam Kirkpatrick negotiates the third man in the 160 class, which is Guy Tolley, down towards the checkered flag, goes past the second place man in the 160s as well, and it's a double again for Sam Kirkpatrick, a double at Brands, double here at Oulton Park. Adam Jackson is third. Here comes Adam. I'm looking in the mirrors to see if I can see Doug Cole, but Adam Jackson from retirement in race number 1 takes it. Well, if I had looked in the mirrors, Doug Cole a little way behind is running in third place. The race leader though in Class B, the 170s, Tyler Ballard from Fergus Campbell. Great points for Fergus Campbell with second position. They've still got to negotiate Lodge Corner. Robin Walker ahead of them. Robin is going to come home in 6th place, but Tyler Ballard goes down into Deer Leap, emerges from that and will win the 170 class, his first win of the season. Tyler Ballard takes it, Fergus Campbell second, James Cole in green in the back of shot will take the third position in Class B. This is Paul Croker, who will get a 160 class win on his return to the championship. Through the final turn goes Paul Croker on the lead lap here. Croker's going to get fastest lap in class, as indeed Tyler Ballard did. Paul Croker takes the win on his return. John Donnelly second in Class C from Guy Tolley, but it's 4 wins on the bounce for Sam Kirkpatrick and 4 second places chasing him all the way in the first 4 races of the season for Fred Burgess. Adam Jackson third from Doug Cole and Patrick Booth. Robin Walker next up from Class B winner Tyler Ballard. Fergus Campbell 8th from James Cole and Joseph Dalgano. 11th goes to Josh Bacon from Josh Bromley. Paul Croker wins the 160s from John Donnelly, then Guy Tolley and Andy Heitman. Keith Henley completing our finishers.
Sam, great weekends of racing. 2 out of 2 wins there, but that second race was a bit tougher.
Yeah, I got a bit of a rough start and then Fergus got both of us, and then Fred took advantage of that and went to the outside and got both of us. So yeah, I had to fight back in that one, and then yeah, Fred was defending hard, but sent it down the cascades and got him. Yeah.
After the stressful start to the day, that ended up very well with the class win.
Yeah, we've had quite an eventful day. Obviously, I've put some good times in qualifying and having the gearbox issue. Race 2, we got penalised for a false start, so 10-second penalty, which yeah, it put us back from 2nd to 4th, so a bit disappointing, but yeah, happy with race 2, so yeah, good fun.
So after we spoke this morning, the day's improved yet again, and you're sort of racing on your own in the class in that one.
I was hoping for a little bit more competition, but it is what it is, isn't it? So I thought I'll just crack on and get into the rhythm. The further I can get ahead, if I do have an issue or something later on in the race, then it's just time in the bag, isn't it? Obviously, I hold the current lap record for the 160s for Oulton Park, but it was kind of, if I can make it better, then I would do. But yeah, I was just out there and just having a good drive, really.
Sam Kirkpatrick takes the championship lead. James Dennison is in second and leads the 170s. The 160 class headed by James Morton. Join us next time for more action from Silverstone. Thanks for watching and bye for now.